Hey guys, welcome to second part of my asset creation tutorial. In the first part I showed you how to get the measurements for the building you intend to use. In this case I'm gonna make this one. And today I'm gonna continue with making a placeholder mesh, as I call it. It's a simple building. You're not actually modeling your building, you're just doing a simple representation of the asset that you're trying to make, and you will see how that's useful later. In case you haven't seen, I started a series with Ronix, basically doing the same exact thing. It's already on his channel, so link in description if you don't know his channel. But on his videos we make a lot of time lapses because it's quite long. On this channel, on my channel where I'm gonna make this building, I'm gonna make it a bit more slow so you guys can actually see, and I'm not gonna time lapse it. Maybe sometimes, I don't know if it's getting way too long and it's obvious things, but over here I'm trying to give more of how to say, more of a beginner approach, more of a simple understanding. Alright, so let's get started. I have here Maya open, but you can follow along on Blender. I mean, not follow along because there's no point on copying this building, but doing your own thing. But let me set up a couple of things. So I have the grid here. I usually like having a grid, and oops, I just removed it. Wait, I just want to click that. So the way I set it up is 56 in 56 of those, grid lines every 8 units, subdivisions 8, because 8 units is for Cities Skylines, and then I subdivide it 8 times, so each little square like this, it's 1 meter, and each one of those, the big ones, it's actually 1 unit in Cities Skylines. Alright, so let's get started. I already have the measurements here from the last video. If you haven't seen that, go ahead. So I'm just gonna start doing this. I'm starting with the plane. So I'm just gonna move it here. I'm gonna try to explain as best as I can some things that I'm doing, but I don't want to say like how I snap things and I'm pressing shift and clicking to extrude, because that's probably different in your Blender, or I don't know. I think those are obvious things. Alright, but one thing I want to point out is you can see here the world axis, and for Maya it's Y up, and for Blender it's Z up. So for Cities Skylines, when I'm making buildings, I wanted the front side of the building to face plus Z, so positive Z direction. That way, when I import it into the asset editor, I don't have to use that thing to rotate the mesh or stuff like that, and I never scale the assets either. So I'm making everything to scale here, and when I export it, it's already set up correctly for importing. I don't know for Blender what's the positive axis. I think if Z is up, it might be positive X, so maybe, I don't know. In this case I'm gonna choose this as the front entrance, because it looks like that, so this will be my positive Z side. Alright, so let's start. I'm just gonna use the reference from here with the measurements. So this side is 10.2, so I'm gonna move this here, and we're going in that direction, so I'm looking here at the bottom, so plus X 10.2, and I also have here edge length 10.2. Unfortunately Maya doesn't have it in a way like Blender, where you can see this directly on the edge, and it's dynamically, so when you move this in Blender it already shows you the numbers there. That's something I miss from Blender actually. Alright, so now I'm just gonna make the other wall, which I know it is 17 meters, so let's just move this here. I don't care about merging vertices and all that, so yeah, at this point we're just doing a placeholder mesh. So I'm gonna move this in minus Z direction, minus 17. Here we have 18 on the back side. Whoops. So yeah, and I have no idea how long are the videos are gonna be, but I'm not gonna try to cut them too much. Okay, so we have 18. You just watch them at your own pace. If you don't have to watch something in one go, watch it whenever you can. And yeah, 11.4. If it gets like 3 hours or something, I'm gonna split it into multiple parts, but other than that, I think I'm gonna keep the videos as they are. Okay, so now we have to make those small intrusions here, basically this wall, which is 0.75. By the way, I have Maya set up in meters, minus x, so minus 0.75. So yeah, like I said, 1 square is 1 meter, and I work in meters. I think it's easier. Well, that's how I got used. So I'm gonna move that there, and oops, what am I doing? I have to rotate this. Okay, I'm actually gonna merge all those now because it's easy and it's gonna help me for the roof. Right now we have to make this those windows, and you can see that it's a curve here, and I think it's more obvious if I show it from the top view. Now this is actually quite an interesting little challenge, and I posted this little puzzle on my Discord because apparently it's not quite easy to do this, and I thought it's easy as well, but apparently it's not. And what you want is 9 faces, so basically 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and 8 subdivisions. Subdivision I mean by frames. And you can clearly see from here that from this wall it starts more like a 90, closer to 90-degree angle, but once it reaches here, like you can see, this is obviously not 90, because if you think about it, like there's a cylinder here somewhere, a big cylinder which makes this part. So yeah, it's not easy to do this. I initially thought I'm just gonna do a bevel like this, and then like just go and bevel this, but unfortunately Maya, you can see here, bevel offset, it's 1. Maya works in a way where the moment it reaches the shortest edge, basically this one, it can't bevel anymore, so I can't go over that. In Blender you can. However, this is still not gonna produce the result I want, even in Blender if you bevel it, because it's gonna curve it in a very weird way. So the method I found, and I'm not sure currently this is the method that I think it's the best way. Well, actually, Ronix found it. My idea was to make a cylinder and figure out the center of the cylinder and then keep adding subdivisions until it matches those two edges here. I'm just explaining all of this to you in case you will ever encounter this. But there is some math going on here, which I have no idea how it works. Probably angles, sinuses, cosinuses, all that. But basically, you want to make one face between those two edges and subdivide it one time, so you end up with equal sizes here. So you can see here 4.27 something, 4.27 something. So those two are equal, and now I wanted this to be aligned with either of those edges, perfectly aligned. So to do that I have to move the pivot. You can on this edge, so we can go in that direction. And what I don't like about this method is it's basically a trial and error of I mean, not really a trial and error, but eyeballing so that this is perfectly straight. Okay, so right here, so this edge is absolutely perfectly straight. And now if I go back into this view and now I try to bevel, it's gonna run the bevel equally in both sides, because yeah. So we go like that and we add segments here. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, exactly there. And you can see the result. It's a perfect it's a perfect curve here between those two, and you can see it's very close to exactly how it is in real life, where this face here, it's a bit closer to 90-degree angle here, while this one is way bigger, so you can clearly see here. Yeah, this was quite a challenging thing to figure out. All right, so now let's see the height. So I know that the height, so let's reset the pivot to world. Where are my measurements? So the height is 8.1 meters from the ground. So let's go Y, basically up 8.1. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make like a small cut here along my entire model, just so I know exactly where this edge is, where this texture is. It's gonna help me later once I do the UV plan. So that is 0.45 upwards. Okay, like that. Again, I'm not modeling, it's just for me to understand the scale, the proportions, the ratios, and all that. All right. Now I basically have to figure out this gap here, and this is 4 squares. So let's pull up the calculator. So it's basically 4 squares times 0.6, because I already calculated here that this is 60 by 60 centimeters. So we're gonna end up with 2.4 meters. So I'm just gonna make a cut here, and I'm gonna move it here, and we go in minus z, so minus 2. No, positive z, 2.4. Come on, 2.4. See, in Blender you guys can dynamically just move this edge and until the numbers match on the top, but in Maya I have to do it from here. It's very annoying. At this point I can hide the grid because I don't really need it right now. And from this base 3 meters up we make that cut. So I'm just gonna make a cut here and 3 meters up, and that's where I make the cut. And we have to cut it all the way around because it's gonna be here as well. I know this from the backside of the model, so if I go here you can see it goes all the way, even though here the bricks don't match because they are a bit offset or something. So I'm just gonna align this line here, and I will have to cut this like this and like that and like that. Basically I use the knife tool equivalent in Blender. So I'm just gonna remove all of this stuff, and I don't really care about this, but let's just make it here easier to see for you guys. Alright, so like that we have that. And now what I want to do is the roof part. So the roof part, I said it's 50 centimeters and it's basically equal, so 25 and 25, and it's a bit offset every time. So I'm just gonna eyeball this, and I think it's like 15 centimeters pushed out. So let's go here and select all those edges, and I'm gonna do shift extrude because you want to extrude, and not that but thickness, and I'm gonna do a thickness of 0.15, and let's see how that's gonna look. I might exaggerate it a little bit, so let's go back, and I don't know, those tiny little things I prefer to exaggerate them. Let's see. Okay, so I have double edges there. Extrude again, and thickness 0.2. Okay, and that, yeah, I kind of prefer this. Looks a bit better. Okay, now we select the outer part. I'm gonna move it up a little bit, and then we go here and 0.25, and we run another extrude, so another thickness of 0.2, and confirm, and extrude again, and 0.25. Okay, and I'm just gonna fill the entire thing. Yeah, wait, I'm actually thinking now, because we can see that the tar, the bitumen, is actually more inwards, so we kind of have to take that into consideration. So let's do another extrude, but this time inwards, so something like that. And I don't know how much to go, so I'm gonna go with 0.5. I think that's fine. Yeah, okay, confirm and extrude again. And no, not that, but thickness. So something like that. And it is 0.5. Maybe I should make it like 1 meter. 1 meter. So minus 0.5. I don't know if that's too much. Just wondering. I noticed something wrong. Or? Oh yeah. This offset really fucks things. Ruins things sometimes. I don't really understand. So I'm gonna have to make a couple of fixes here, but or maybe I just don't know how to use this tool. See, like it's pushing stuff in weirdly. While you want it completely symmetrical everywhere. That's probably a way to solve this better, but I don't know how. Yeah, my eye is very weird. Okay, well, let's see if we fill this. Is this height enough? I think I'm gonna go with this. So I'm just gonna move those here. Those things don't matter, but right now, I mean, we can simply get rid of all of this. So one big and gone. But this is again just for us to see how things look. And let me go to because I have some edges which are you can see this shading, like some edges are sharp, some edges are soft. It's exactly like when you go in Blender and you go shade smooth, shade flat, and I want it to look more decent for my eyes. So mesh display, soften, harden edges. So that's one click button which is gonna find all of the hard edges, basically 90 degrees and all that, and it's gonna make them hard, and something else is gonna make soft. Yeah, okay, so that's that. Let's see, what else do I need? I wanna make some cuts here for the windows, just so I know where they are. So the windows start like after 2 squares, so that's 1 meter 20. And the way I do this, I don't make cuts and all that stuff. So what I do is I make another plane. So let's just duplicate this and turn it into its own thing. And oops, we have an extra vertex there. So the width of the window is again 0.6 because it's exactly 1 square. And the length is 3 of those, so 1.8. So we go lower, minus 1.8. And what I usually do is I make like a new material, and you can do this in Blender as well. So you go on the right side menu and you make materials and all that stuff. And I'm just gonna make a new Lambert here, and I'm gonna call it Windows. And I'm gonna choose like a blue color. Okay, that's fine. So I'm gonna assign, where is it? Where are you? So I'm gonna assign this thing the windows. Okay, and let's see. I know that this has to be so I'm gonna align it here on the edge, and I know it has to go so I'm gonna align the pivot there, and I know it has to go 1.2 meter to the right, so 1.2 in the minus z direction, minus 1.2, and that's where we are gonna have the first window. And I prefer pushing it outside a little bit so it doesn't flicker that much. And from the bottom it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whoops. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 8 from here. So 8 times 0.6, it's 4.8 meters. So if we go into here and wait, I need to select both of them so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, come on. So I'm gonna move this all the way to the bottom and I'm gonna center the pivot there, and we are going upwards 4.8 like that. So I know where I'm gonna have a window. You can obviously make like a million cuts here, but I don't know, that's way too weird for me. I prefer to have the windows just so I can see where they are. That's all I'm doing. Okay, so the next one is one gap of 60, and let's go here and we basically go in that direction, which is Z, so minus 1.2 because we take into account the space between. And let's triple check that those are actually 0.6. Yes, they are. And one more time. Whoops. And minus 0.6. Okay, so I know where some windows are, and we're gonna have one more window on the right side. At plus 1.2 in Z direction. So let's move that there. 1.2. And I don't add all of the windows. Let's maybe add them on this side as well, but on the back side I don't care. I just want some of them so I can later see like how do I have to make my UV plan and diffuse and all that. Again, I'm just making a small how to say, a small placeholder mesh, a guideline more visually. So here we start with two space. Is it always 2 and 2 and 2? Okay, so it seems it's quite a pattern here. So I'm just gonna take this, let's select both of those and rotate it and move it here a little bit outside because that bothers me. So it's always like, whoops, like 1.2 from this edge, and now we are going in minus x direction, so minus 1.2. Okay, duplicate and minus 1.8 because we have that we have to take into account this this one as well. So let's, yeah, it's perfect. I'm just calculating if the gap is fine. So I'm gonna duplicate those and move this here, and here we go 1.2 minus 1.2. And how many do I need? 2 more. I hope I didn't fuck up something because it looks like I'm running out of space. Okay, this is weird. So I maybe I don't have the measurements right. Okay, well, this is weird. Minus 1.2. Is it actually fine? This is 1.2. This is 1.2. 1.2. It seems fine. Where did I fuck up? 1.2 and 1.2. What the hell? And this one 1.2. So is this building longer? It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. 1.2, 2.4, 3.6, 4.8, 6, 7. Yeah, all those are equally spaced out as it should be. Let's think. So I don't want to cut those things out because it's good for problem solving. So I'm wondering what is wrong here, because all of those actually look in case 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Oh, I made 6. Okay. Alright, so let's see how much we have until the edge, and it's exactly 1.2. Okay, I'm retarded. Okay. Alright, so we have those there. Let's make this part here so I know where this goes. It's actually it starts like one from this, so I'm gonna just duplicate this. And which one is that? The third window. So if I move this here, okay, something like that, and I basically have to move it 0.6 in that direction. 0.6, it's starting here. And where do I have to place this? 0.6 above this, so 0.6 upwards. Okay, and how long does it go? All the way to that window. So all the way there. That's for that. And now let's make a cut here. So the cut is gonna be from two of those. So I'm just gonna make a cut here and one more cut here. And let's align this, and we move in minus x 1.2, no, minus 1.2. And on the left side, again 1.2, but somehow I can't, because I have those edges on the top. So let's get rid of those. We don't need those. And I have this annoying thing. So x 1.2. Okay, and we can actually get rid of that over here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tall, but I think I actually have that somewhere. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 3 meters above this. So let's go back, make a thing here, and above this level it's 3 meters up. And it's spanning from the start of the first window to the start of the third window. Let's triple check that on. Yeah, seems about right. And this part, it's gonna be extruded inwards. Now question is, how much do we extrude inwards? Oh, actually, before doing that, I can see that this part is actually staying, but we have like a small gap here. So if this is 0.6, I'm just eyeballing now. 0.6, middle is about here, 0.3, middle about 0.15, so this is about 0.1. Again, you don't have to be extremely accurate about those things. So what did I say? So minus 0.9, we go down. No, wait, this is 60, so that is, oh wait, what am I doing? So we go minus 0.6, and between those two it's like, so wait, did I say 0.3, 0.15? I think this line is like 0.15 and this is 0.10, so let's go there, 0.1. Okay, now I can get rid of this thing here. So this part here, it's exactly this part here. So the rest we can just extrude inwards. So question is, how much do we extrude? Let's see if we can see from this, because I haven't taken measurements for this part. Now we can see here we have some weird stuff with the panels, or I don't know how to call those squares. But I think this one here, if it goes all the way into the wall, it's like one full square. So it's 2 squares and something, 0.8 of that square. So 2 squares, it's 1.2 meters. And then we go like 0.4. So 1.6 meters, I would say, roughly. We don't have to be perfect. Z minus 1.6. Alright, so that's for that part. And this wall here, it's very, very thin. And I think this is like a 0.2, seems like. So question is how much this wall, this one on, oh, it's pushed one full square. So this one, we actually, oh, but I have to make one cut here first of all. So I said that we're gonna go with 0.2, so minus 0.2, and that seems about right, the thickness. And we're gonna extrude this 0.6 in that direction for the inside. I'm gonna keep all those lines because I don't mind.